How did I skyrocketed my testosterone to 1100 nanograms per deciliter? The first thing that I did was to compete. You gotta admit this thing, man. Most of us are very scared to compete these days because of this, scary, stupid propaganda that we should be only competing with ourselves and not with the others. That is so bad thinking. You gotta realize this thing, man. A person can control himself. A person has a control over himself, and that person can slow down as he wish. And if that person who can slow down as he wish is the only person who his or her opponent, then think about it. क्या वो एक अच्छा opponent है? A person who can slow down his or her opponent as he or she wishes, is that even a fucking opponent, man? Opponent is a person who is trying to compete, trying to beat down a person. A person cannot beat down himself. और जब वो खुद से compete कर रहा होता है तो उस केस में वो खुद को slow down कर लेता है so that it becomes easy to compete. So you should not compete it with only yourself. You should be competing with others. That's how competition works. That's how survival works. Competition forces us to become better than others immensely, and there's also a component of social pressure that we feel when we are competing. We want to make sure that socially our image is seen as a champion, as a winner. So that social pressure forces us to compete even higher, and this element of competitiveness, this element of challenge, this level of social pressure skyrockets your testosterone levels. Now, the thing that you need to realize is that obviously you should compete with only those people who are at your same level or somewhat at a similar level of your skill set or expertise. Because let's say you are competing with a person who is a champion or an expert in the field for 3 to 5 years, and you are just right now coming into the field and you are competing with that same person, there's no chance that you are gonna even stand that person. That is not going to improve you. That is not going to skyrocket your testosterone. What you need to realize is that competing with those people who are at your same level is going to lead to growth and more testosterone. So yeah. The second thing that I used to do is to do hard things even when I didn't feel like doing those things. So today in the morning I did a 8 mile run with my brother, and the thing is that I didn't even felt like going out of the bed, let alone running. But I did it anyways. I did it anyways, regardless of how I felt, regardless of my emotions in that particular moment of time. I just did it. Right now I'm recording the video. I don't feel like recording the video, to be very honest. I feel like going outside and roaming and doing things like scrolling Instagram and watching some movie, but still I do the thing because the thing has to be done regardless of how you feel like. Hard things that lead to growth, that lead to development, that has to be done even when you don't feel like it. And that thing, that particular mindset tells your brain that you need more testosterone, so your body and mind produces more testosterone in order to support those endeavors, those hard things that you do regardless of your emotional state of that particular present moment. What happens is that as your body and mind produces more testosterone to support those endeavors, your mind starts to feel good when you put in some efforts in things. Efforts starts to feel good. That's the state of high testosterone. That's what high testosterone feels like. It's not about the results, or it's not about the pleasure, it's not about anything. It's about when the efforts starts to feel good, when you feel satisfied, when you feel absolutely amazing by giving the efforts in the thing that you wanted to pursue, and you see some results. That's what testosterone feels like. The third thing that I used to do, and you can actually do after just watching this video, is sprinting. Let it be weightlifting, calisthenics, any kind of sports. Sprinting is the best stimulator for testosterone. The energy that you get after sprinting, the zap of electricity that you feel in your mind just feel buzzed out after you sprint, after you do a couple of sprints. You can just feel it out, man. And it's very easy. What I used to do is I used to do 5 to 6 sprints after my leg day by taking 2 to 3 minutes of break in between. And the thing is that I used to feel fucking great after doing the sprints. I used to feel the testosterone flowing through my veins. And plus, if you do any sort of combat sport, for example, let it be jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA, karate, whatever it is, it also brings in the element of competitiveness into the sport. So if you are competing with a person already in a combat sport, and plus the feel of combat sport, man, when you are in the front of a person fighting with that person, and that person is trying to knock you down, punch you down, and trying to hurt you, and you are just trying to protect and simultaneously just trying to hurt that person, that is in itself a kind of a state of trance. You are just in a kind of zone of high testosterone, high competitive behavior. You're just trying to knock that person out. Those activities are the one that skyrockets of testosterone. This competitive spirit, the feeling of knocking down that other person, beating the other person, competing with the other person, doing the hard things even when it doesn't feel great, even when your emotional brain is telling you to not do the thing, and you do this regardless of how you feel, because the thing has to be done. The thing has to be done in order to satisfy your need for challenge. That's what you do as a man. Three things: compete, do the hard things even when you don't feel like it, and sprinting and combat sport. And the rest things, man, like the basics, like sleep properly, eat the clean food, eat the things which are high in micronutrients like zinc and essential fatty acids, the precursors for testosterone, the cholesterol, sleep well, exercise, and all the basics things, go out in the sunlight, and just all these things like basically are just basics, man. If you're not doing these things, don't even think about raising your testosterone, let alone skyrocketing it to levels like more than 1000 nanograms per deciliter. Now these are the things that I did to get my testosterone to 1100 nanograms per deciliter.